Hey guys, I'm BEXIT. Or just let me check something. Just a second. Oh, everything's okay. Yes, I'm BEXIT and welcome to day number 4 of my workshop on what you really can do to make this world a better place. So I believe so far you've already found out that it's not a normal workshop to this topic, that I start maybe from a total different view than some others would do. But I think it's always very important to start at the base and work yourself through the rest, because when you work on the base, it's going to have so much more influence than just working on the surface. And yeah, that's why on day 1 we actually started with the most important thing about, or the most important thing if you want to change the world, that's actually working on yourself and yeah, becoming happy yourself, become getting enough resources, materialistic as well as spiritually, to have the energy and um, yeah, to just spread the love around. That's actually the most important thing, and it's just very logical. If everyone would do that, there wouldn't be war in this world. Yeah, no one could deal with fighting a war if he could feel. Yeah, and yeah, so that's the most important thing. Um, then on the second day, well, let me think. On the second day, we've been talking especially about family and friends, and how you can work on creating a positive connection to other people. And this is the second most important thing, because if everyone would do that, then the people around them would um, would infect each other with this love, and then the other people would infect the other people with this love, and this could lead and totally change this world and make this world a better place. Okay, so yeah, yesterday we've been talking about something that I actually should have named in the first place. It was about health, which also of course belongs to you. You need to be healthy, you need to have the energy physically as well as mentally. And I've been talking about this for longer than I actually thought. So yeah, it was a little mixed up. I'm sorry about that. And yeah, today I'm going to talk about child education, which is something that is very important to me because I worked at childcare and I've seen what's happening around there. And also, the last couple of years I've been studying, the last couple of years, my whole life I've been studying people, and I'm gaining so much information right now on how different actually a good way of education is to what we've got now. So this is a very important topic. Then today I'm going to talk shortly about drugs and alcohol, and I'm going to talk shortly about politics and community. And as you've seen the other days, I've always been talking about politics and community, with all the other topics, because they all have to do with this. So I used to be someone who really hated politics and wasn't interested at all, and now I found out that our life living in this society, we can't get out of it actually. So it's much easier to understand if you've got some knowledge, and it's easier to understand this knowledge once you've worked on yourself and you don't get frustrated by it, believe me. I'm not saying I'm not getting frustrated at all, but I at least I know how to deal with it now. But it's still a task, you know. It's still not really easy. Yes, and then at the end, yeah, it's really bad how it's been going. I can't go live with my own account. Try to do a second account now, but it's also not really working. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still blocked. That's why I'm still using this account now. And yeah, sadly I see that actually nearly no one is watching this live, and I'm not really sure if I am actually live before I share it, because normally the administrator has to approve. Yeah, so I think you can only see it when once I shared it, and this is really a shame because yeah, I've been working on this workshop for like a month, and I've been inviting people, and so many people said that they would like to see it, and yeah, now I can't actually really go live, I guess, and the interaction is missing, and it's also a big shame for me that yeah, that I yesterday presented my offers and gave you yeah, this 50% off thing, and I think not as many people are going to see it as I was hoping to. So I will remind the people in the group again, until Sunday, um, booking me would be 50% off what it's saying on my site. So on my site I've got offered my services, and if you check on those services and how much they are, until Sunday it's going to be 50% off. And yeah, and of course today we've got the lottery. This was also something I wanted to do to bring a little bit more interaction, to ask you to write a comment under these videos to take part at this at the lottery that I was going to do, and um, I'm going to pull 3 names later on, and and those 3 people are going to win a prize, and that will be my uh, either that I'm coming to them and giving them a concert, or a coaching, or I come to their event as a speaker. And this is yeah, this is what I'm going to do later. I'm going to pull their names, and I'm going to name who has been winning. And I also counted everyone who didn't react when we were live until yesterday. Yeah, so the first 3 days, those people who reacted in the comments, they can win something. Okay, so I would say let's start. Yeah. There was one more very important thing that I forgot to name yesterday, and it had to do with health. Yeah. So I've been talking about all these toxins that get into our body by yeah, for example, by the chemtrails sprayed into the air. Of course, there's also our food is poisoned if you don't buy biological food, and something very important is also the electronic fields around us and the radiation. That is something that's been influencing us already for years. Everyone's got headaches, everyone's tired, no one knows why. That's why actually, and everyone's got it at home, and I really want to advise you to get rid of all the smart meters, to make sure you're using a pretty old phone that has only got the possibility of 4G, because 5G is the worst. That's yeah, it's still not rolled out. Yeah, here at least where I live. In some other parts it is, but there are also many parts where it's already forbidden because people were protesting, and I really want to encourage you to go out, protest, do something about it, write letters to your government, to your town, to anywhere, that it's not going to be rolled out, because 5G, this is going to destroy our feelings, our connection, yeah, our connection to the world, to God. It's just such a such a such a bad radiation for our body. It's physically attacking us. It creates cancer, and also there are some people out there, and I'm going to talk about that later. There are some people out there who can actually direct weapons on us using this kind of technology, and that's why it actually has been created, and not so we can download videos a little bit quicker. So this was just something I've been thinking about afterwards. Hey, health, this is also important. Actually, there are a couple of things you can do. You can really Google and watch on YouTube. There are already a lot of videos what you can do to protect yourself from radiation. There are actually different kinds of stones. There are different kinds of things to wear or things to install in your home to make you feel better. Or you get one like these, yeah. You can write me a message where to get those. This is also protective. Um, yeah. So okay, child education. Yeah. As I've told you before, this is a really important topic to me because I've been working with kids for 5 years, and I've been working with kids from 0 to 3 years old. And I'm not totally proud of how I work with them. I mean, I work the way I was meant to by the city, my employer. I work the way, I was expected to, because you need to have a certain day routine in your day with 5 kids. I had 9 kids with 2 people, and then I worked by myself with 5 kids. And you need to have a certain routine, because otherwise you can't deal with it. You can't let one sleep at this time and one sleep at the other. It's too much if you still have to make sure that they will be ready on time when the parents are going to pick them up. Every parent wanted that they had their sleep once they pick them up. So there's so much to it where those workers in childcare can't do or can't work the way they want, and can't do work the way that would be best for the children. And the next thing I've already explained to you in the last couple of days was the huge problem that I had when they first brought their kids, and the beginning phase where they just didn't want mommy to leave, of course. And it took a while until they actually trusted this total stranger they've been brought to. And they could always feel, you could already see when they came to the first visit, you could see them hanging on to their mom, because they could feel they knew what was going on. They knew that this is going to be the place that they're going to stay. And I mean, I was very lucky that I had a really good connection to the kids, and everything went really. Yeah, there were of course a couple of them where it took a couple of weeks, but everything went pretty smooth. But still, it didn't make the feeling better of them being hurt by being left there, and the feelings of the mummies who didn't want to leave. And I even had a dad who was crying when he first had to leave, and I had to tell him that he has to go. I mean, if you do this, if you're doing this, you have to do this. And if your kid cries, but you wanted to stay there, sometimes you have to go. Yeah. And nowadays, I would say you should consider bringing the kids to something like that at all. So this is the little fight that I also had inside of my head sometimes, because I thought, okay, the kid is crying and wants to go to their mom. It brings the child caretakers in such a weird position, because of course the kid should stay with their mom. It's a baby, it's the 1-year-old baby. But if this is going to work, you only have a certain time. Those parents need to start working again. Then you're forced to say, hey, you have to go away, because the kids get used to you easier when the parents are leaving. But is this the goal, that the kids get used easier, or that the kids get used quicker? I think, after doing this for so many years, I found out that I can't actually deal with it anymore. And I've been reading a lot about it. I've been watching a lot of stuff about it on the internet. And more I am actually defending the position of um, the child being really connected to their moms from, yeah, 0 to, I would say, about 6 years old. So my view on things totally changed once I started that feeling again, because yeah, now I think that actually parents should let the kids sleep close to them. You know, before I would say no, you have to, you have to be very strict, and kids need to sleep then and kids need to sleep then. No, kids don't need anything. Yeah, they're babies. And I think between 0 and 6 years old, that they are still connected to the aura. That it's like, you know, for 9 months they shared a body, the body of the mother, and they've been connected. And how do you call the string from the navel string? Is it called like that? Yeah. This is cut off way too early when they're born, but that's totally different topic. What they're doing to the babies when they're born. You know, that they were physically connected, and when you cut this off, it's like you only cut the physical connection off, but the other connection is still there. So does that still make sense? It's like when we're dying, our body is not immediately leaving. Our soul is not immediately leaving our body. It's been together for such a long time. All the energy is still in there, which is why, oh, that's a totally different topic, but organ donation, yeah? Organ donation is the worst. When someone just died, take all their organs away. Oh my god, it's terrible. But, okay, let's stick to this topic. But it's just logical that the child and the mother have this nearly physical connection, and they should stay together as much as possible. And this is why it's so important that the woman has got time, yeah? She needs time, she needs to change her life. The life is turning, it's gonna be, yeah, partly for the baby at this moment. But I mean, as a mother, I think you're willing to do that, right? But because of the things we have to pay, and we have to work, and all the stress, yeah, we're not, it's not able for us to take that time. And this is the main problem actually in this world, yeah, because this causes traumas for the rest of their lives, and those people are not going to make good decisions for themselves or for others, yeah. And nearly all of us have had that, yeah, when they were young. I mean, who could stay really at home? And you can feel that people where the parents really had time to take them, to leave them at home for the first couple of years, that the bond, the bond they have is so much stronger. Yeah. So it's just so important, yeah. And so I don't want to make anyone feel guilty who didn't have the time, or who's in a situation right now. But I want to talk to the people who don't have children yet, to think about all of this stuff before they do it, yeah. Don't just easily think, hey, I want a baby, or don't, you know, even worse, don't get a baby because you didn't protect yourself, yeah. Um, there's so much responsibility coming with it. So I've had these little babies sometimes saying mom to me, because they spend 40 hours a week with me. And I think, yeah, and when the parents come back, they feel guilty, and trying to give them everything that they want. This brings such a weird psychological cycle for the kids, so that they can feel this guilt, yeah. And that's the worst for the kids, when they feel this guilt. They already have got something they can control on the one hand, and on the other hand, it's just not nice for the kids to feel that their parents are not feeling well. The most important thing is that the parents feel well, yeah, that the parents are happy, and this doesn't make happy, yeah. And yes, so I've seen this doubt in all of the parents' faces when they came to me first, or when in the last couple of months I worked in kindergartens, and I can see it, and it, you know, it's just like that. When they bring their children in the beginning, there's always this little voice inside of their head: is this right? Can I leave my kid here? Can I leave my kid here? And this voice doesn't have anything to do with a child caretaker if they are a nice person. Sometimes it does too, but mainly this voice is just nature. Nature doesn't want it, and I think you should listen to it. So those who are already in this situation, I can just, you can always make changes or make slight changes. You know, if you really don't have the possibility, or you're alone and you don't have a partner. If you really don't have the possibility at the moment, it's something just to think about, and maybe work less hours. I can tell you that kids don't care if you're rich or if you go on holiday. Yeah, kids just want your time. Okay. And it's never too late. And if you've already done it for a lot of years, your kids will, your kids, you don't have to be sorry for it. Your kids still love you, and it doesn't matter how many mistakes you made. It's just once you recognize that you made a mistake and then still going on like before, that is actually something bad. And then maybe even defending it, this is something that makes kids angry. Yeah, but once you found it and you're changing it, no one's gonna be mad at you. You're a human being. We're all human beings, and this is just this process. The system is going on for such a long time, and I think there are just few who are breaking out of it. So you are actually just doing what's normal, yeah. And luckily we've got the possibility now to talk on the internet, talk freely. If we're not getting blocked by Facebook, though, yeah. Yeah, and you will be such a help, also for your surroundings, also for other people who've got kids and who don't know what to do. Just check the time. Okay. So the next thing that is really important is Anan. Oh yeah. And regardless of the childcare, yeah, but it's also got something to do with it as well, is that the natural rhythm of everything, yeah. When the kids are born, they know when to sleep, they know when to eat, they've got just these natural instincts. And I mean, at the beginning, the last couple of months I worked at childcare kindergartens where the babies already have been given away when they were 6 weeks, because in Holland you can't stay home. Yeah, your employer doesn't let you stay home, doesn't pay you. So there you actually have to give your kids away for after a couple of weeks after they've been born. It's been a terrible situation. I mean, I loved holding the babies, but while I was holding them I was thinking, this is wrong, you know. Here in Germany we're pretty lucky that we get a year, I think. Still not enough at all, but okay. But you know, the first couple of weeks at least, and also at the kindergarten, the first couple of weeks we kind of plan everything around the children. So I've been working at baby stations, for example, and there we didn't have times when to eat, when to do this, when to sleep, you know, but the kids could decide. So so I believe that the kids should decide much longer, yeah, and we're taking their ability away to make their own decisions, what's right for them. We are pressing our system, our day-night routine, our, you know, we think it's normal to get up at a certain time, we think it's normal to go to bed at a certain time, and in between you're not allowed to be tired, and in between you're not allowed to have a nap. At least that's what we think it should be like when you're a grown-up. So what we're doing is we're forcing our will on the kids because we think this is right, and then gradually, you know, babies, they can still decide, yeah, but we don't want them, of course, because we want to sleep. But hey, yeah, that's what happens when when you have a baby. It only gets really difficult when you both have to work and you can't sleep all night. But, I mean, that's the thing about having a baby and working. Yeah, so yeah, so we gradually take away their own decision of when they're tired and when not. And I've been doing this too in my childcare. Um, they had to sleep at a certain time, and they all had to sleep because I wanted my lunch break. Yeah, and not only because of this, but when one didn't sleep, the other one didn't sleep, so they had to sleep. But now that I've been reflecting on this, I think this whole system is totally wrong. And if you would be home and you would have time for your kids, you can let it sleep whenever it wants to, eat whenever it wants to. That was the next thing, you know, when you've got such a big childcare, it's not possible to cook for everyone and warm up their food every now and then. You have to do it at a certain time, and this is why it would be so much better if the kid would be at home with their mom and it could let them know when it's hungry, because this natural eating habit, it's this is what's the healthiest, and this is what would keep them in a good shape. And you know, if we would just let them, yeah. But we've got so many strange things we force our children. You know, you can eat this, you have to eat this, you have to finish your plate, you have to, I don't know, or we're putting a lot of sweets in them because we feel guilty that we don't have enough time for them, yeah, or I don't know, there's just so much, and I think we're destroying their whole rhythm, and then in the end they have to join courses to find their own way of eating and of sleeping again, yeah. Some people are just night people, some people are just, I know this is all what I'm talking about now. It's all going to be very difficult if you want a child that is going to be good in society. And this is another decision you have to make best before you have a child. If you want to have a child that's functioning well in society, well, then you have to force them into all this, because it's really hard, you know, bringing them to school when they are night people and they've been awake all night. It's not possible. But this is what I want to make people a little bit more aware of, that we try to think about if this normal way of getting them to school or the normal educational system, if that is really the way we want to choose. And I know some parents are going to say, well, what should I do? You know, I want my kids to have a good job later and everything. And well, you're talking to someone, yeah, who doesn't believe in this at all. I mean, yeah, all my studies and everything, it was in the end didn't learn as much as I learned from my life. And the good thing is now as a coach I can say, hey, I've got a bachelor degree, but in the end it didn't make sense at all. And there are so many opportunities and possibilities nowadays, you actually don't even need school anymore. But there are of course some stadiums in between. You can also choose homeschooling, of course. You can school them yourself. I mean, 80% of what they learn in school they will never need again. So it's important to read, to write. Yeah, it's just important to think about it. Because if you're going the normal way, then of course you can't let your child be as free as it wants to be. But please make sure that the first 6 years, yeah, that it can be free. Yeah. Wow. Oh, time is running. I think I have to switch topic, even though I'm not. Just really quick. Next very important thing is being a role model for the kids. That's pretty much of all educational systems that there are. Being a role model is the most important. And what's also the most important is actually to be present, to be there for them, to let them be, just like they know when to eat and when to sleep. They know what to feel. Yeah. When they are angry and mad and screaming and yelling, let them, yeah, be there. If they don't want to hug you, just be there, just be in the room with them and have patience. Let them have their feelings. Don't make them push away everything, okay? Because this is how we build up those traumas that we have to work on with a psychotherapist or with a good coach. Yeah, better with a good coach later on. Yeah, it's just terrible to tell them that they should stop crying now, they shouldn't be angry now, whatever. Let them be. And this is another thing that doesn't really fit into our society, and it's really hard when you're on the bus or in the supermarket and everyone thinks, hey, can't she control her child? No, because we don't want to control our child. Yeah, we want it to become a grown-up. And I'm not saying at all that kids should do anything they want. Yeah, I'm totally, also when I was working I was pretty strict, and with strict I mean what I said had a consequence, or when if I said there was a consequence, it had a consequence. There is no discussing, there is no but I want, no, and you say, yeah, no, but you can't, but you can't, but you can't. No way, you know, it's enough to say things one time and then do them. So I'm not someone to say let your kids loose and then let them do anything they want to do. You are still the grown up, right? You're still the one who makes the rules inside the household. Yeah, but they are the ones who are feeling what they're feeling, and they are allowed to. And if they are mad because you are saying no to something, let them be mad, you know. It's the consequence. If you say no, you know the kid's gonna be mad. It's the consequence of it. And you should, yeah, deal with the consequences. And this takes, yeah, it's nearly impossible to do all that when you're working 40 hours. So, yes. Okay, yeah. Then, I think we can end this topic now. There's still so much to talk about, but we have to move on quickly because there's not much time left. So if you watched my diary videos, you know about my past, and you also know that I've also been working with criminals and drug addicts, and here's something about drugs and alcohol. So the very first thing we have to understand is why it actually exists, and why people are actually taking it. And people are taking it because they want to flee. They want to flee from reality. And the problem with the drug addictions is that there's actually no other thing, that no other goal in life that can come close to the fun you have, or just the ease you have when you're for example using drugs. And the problem in this is that there is no goal, that there is no passion, and there is nothing, you know, there is no life purpose, no life sentence. So everything leads back to day number one, taking care of yourself first. This is the main thing about the addictions. So the only thing you can actually do with addicted people is make them find their life purpose and working on their spiritual pathway. And you don't have to call it spiritual pathway, because I believe nearly everything we do, you know, we're all spiritual. It's not possible not to be. But what we need to understand is that the drugs that are illegal and the drugs that are legal, it doesn't actually there's actually, this is something that's decided by the system, but it doesn't actually have to make sense. Yeah, that something is legal and something is not legal. Just push that system away for a while and just think logically, because actually everything that brings you into another state of consciousness by eating it or snorting it or injecting it or whatever, or consuming it, that's a drug. Yeah, so we can already say that watching television is a drug as well, and that alcohol definitely is a drug as well. And so what they're really doing in a very weird way is that they're confusing these strange things, but there are addictions in so many ways. It doesn't even have to do something with a drug. You can be addicted to so many things, and we grow up and we are made addicted by so many things just from a very small age that it's it doesn't matter. We're all addicted, yeah. So it just depends on how your state of mind is, how open you are to try drugs or not, or what people you meet or whatnot. But in the end, the addiction, the system of the addiction is the same, and it's all created to numb us down, to make us stop thinking, and it gives us different problems. I mean, if you take television, it we already we need it. So many people need it to calm down after a hard day of work, and then they think that they're going to do something good because they're watching the news, which are all lies. But yeah, many people don't know that, and actually the television creates fear through movies, through um, newspapers, through news, and our brain doesn't know that it's not real. Yeah, every time we watch something on the television, we actually believe, our body believes that it's true. So if you're also believing in creating your own world by materialization, every time you feel something, you're gonna attract it. Yeah. And this is what we're doing in our free time, yeah, when we want to feel good. And we only feel good because this is the time where we don't have to do anything, because the whole day we're forced to do stuff, because we have to survive, yeah. So but if you're taking very serious drugs, of course, the more harder the drugs get, then of course a whole life change is coming to it as well. If you have drugs like speed or ecstasy, the not sleeping, the health problems, if you're taking heroin or cocaine, which are very expensive and very addictive, then of course your life has to change because you need the money for it, and in the end people start selling their own bodies for it. But you know, the root of everything would be to working on the addictional behavior, and actually not to work on the drug itself. I mean, it's always good to stop for a while to make people, you know, come back. But you're never going to stop 100% if you're not working on those roots. And this is something that those therapists nowadays, no one is actually able to. What therapists do is they give you different drugs. They follow just old traditions of weird systems of psychologists, and try to press you and make you talk about your problems, and talk about it, no change at all. So it's so important that you find someone who is actually capable of finding the roots to your problem, yeah. And maybe someone like me who is also experienced, yeah. um, it's always good to ask someone who's been through it and ask them how they managed, right? It's just a very logical thing. The next thing is alcohol is something that is really, yeah, people think it's not that bad because it's legal, and yeah, if you start to work on yourself and you start to feel more, you can feel that the vibe alcohol brings is not a very good vibe. And I used to drink pretty much. I love beer and everything, but now I can't imagine to go back. I think since 2 years I stopped drinking, and now I observe the people, and I've read a text about the word alcohol, and it meant the word alcohol means, or it's I don't remember what language it was, but alcohol, the word, it means something like demon, yeah. And I believe that we are surrounded by energies and beings all the time, and that sometimes we can open up to them, even though we don't want it, and then they are just connected to us. And I think that everywhere where people are drinking a lot, that this is like feeding those weird demons. So yeah, not a good choice. And it all sounds really hard to let go of all this stuff, but this is just because we're addicted. But once you stopped it, I mean, do I look like I'm not happy? Yeah. Once you stopped it, it's yeah, you don't feel like you miss out on anything. Yeah. It's a process though. Yeah. So I've done the process really quick, and but it's good to step by step just to work yourself into it. And when you're really feeling, oh, once you've stopped for a couple of months and then you're drinking again and you've got this hangover the next day, you think, why am I doing this to myself? Yeah. So oh yeah, and then one more. Oh wow, it's so late. One very important thing is to stop. Uh, uh, oh yeah, yeah. There are so many people who say that natural drugs are good for you, and believe me, I've nearly tried every drug there is. Yeah, except heroin. But all drugs are actually in very deep. They're natural. Yeah. But something that I have to tell you as a very experienced person, looking back now, I personally don't believe that there is any drug that is good for you, because I think that even if you take LSD to get some experiences, you take ayahuasca, but this is just my opinion. Yeah, I mean I've been doing all this stuff, you know. I've been trying everything, so I don't want to say you should do your own experiences, but what I can tell you from my experience is that it's always good to reach certain states in a natural way. So if you're taking LSD just to make the view on the world a little wider, it can be very interesting, but if you haven't worked on yourself, then the traumas, the problems are going to come, and I think you're too vulnerable to deal with it, and then and then the drugs worked out, it stopped, yeah, and then this whole process that had been started by the drugs, you're not processing it anymore. You need to take the drug again actually to go back to this process, because very often you forget afterwards what happened. So I wouldn't recommend to do these things just to work on yourself. I think you should be a very high intelligent being, but actually you can reach every state you want to when you're a very highly intelligent being. So I think it's nearly always a little escape from reality, and you can learn to do that yourself, and then it's natural. That's my own opinion. And even smoking weed, I mean, if I smoke weed, I feel terrible anyway. But yeah, I don't believe that it's good or it's adding something. Okay. So the last topic I wanted to talk about was politics and community. There's actually not so much to say after all. I mentioned a couple of things. I mentioned how our own power has been given away, and this is already so long ago that we think it's normal. But if you really think about it logically, it's just some people who claimed that it's their land, yeah. And those people are now very rich. There are just a couple of them, and they try to control our whole world. I also believe that some alien species are also working together with them. But this is something that might be too creepy for you. But in the end, there are just a couple of people who own all of our land, all of our money, and it's really stupid that not millions, billions of people are actually doing what they're saying. Yeah, so it's just logical that we change something about that. Yeah. Because if you look at it, most of the day is controlled. Most of our days is controlled, and it's so hard to get yourself out of it. So if you don't want to be like me, someone who goes off into a country and who starts living in a village and starts living for themselves, then there are some steps that I'm actually doing as well at the moment, and that you can gradually stop to connect yourself from this. And it was about making the world a better place, and there's nothing better for this world than if we would get our control back and take away their control, because they are actually the ones who are destroying the planet and who are polluting everything. And I think every one of us would do it in a very different way. There's a big fear when we talk about this with people, that there's going to be chaos and that there's going to be madness around if we don't have their control anymore, but this is just what they wanted. But we can build our own control. We can also choose our own people to, you know, to be like the leaders, or at least tell us where taxes go to, yeah? I mean, shouldn't it be normal that we should know where our money goes to? But we can also choose our own politicians that make, let us know what they're exactly doing, and that we can choose if we think it's right what they're doing, or if they're not. And we don't have to wait for years, you know, because everything nowadays is manipulated. All the politicians are, by this little group who owns all of the money, the elite, I call them. They are actually paying their puppets to do the dirty job for them. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. The first thing I want to advise you is to stop voting, because you're all voting for the same, and by voting you give them the permission that they can do what they want to do with you. You give them the permission that the system is right. And they can't actually do anything that they the bad forces, they can't actually do anything if you're not in some way say that you're alright with it. And if you say nothing, then it still means alright. So you really have to say, no, I'm not doing this. So I really have to hurry up now, because I've only got 5 minutes left. So the things that you can actually do is to first do all the things that I've already been talking about. Then look what you're buying, where your money goes to. This is what they live on. You can look that you support, that you just don't support the big supermarkets, that you support the small shops. You can see what you buy from your money, and this is actually, if they wouldn't get any money anymore, then the system would crash already. So if everyone would just take care of what they're spending their money on, and just stay locally, and just stay with people and not with companies, that's very important. And also if you buy more biological, then there's going to be more biological stuff offered. It's just a logical way. This is how marketing works. And the next thing is that you should find out what you want to do, what kind of work you want to do. So you're not working and supporting all those big companies anymore, and work for yourself or do something good for the world. You can also start a company. You can also become a big company, but I'm talking about the ones that are already existing for such a long time, that they are those that are working together with the industry, that are working together with politics and with the big people. So we can stop giving our energy, our lifetime, our money to them, and start making our own. Then something that I'm working on at the moment, there are legal way not to pay taxes anymore. As I told you before, our taxes are going who knows where. Politicians are buying whatever. We don't know what they're doing with our taxes. But what we do know is that wars are financed with taxes. There are weapons sent into the countries where the war takes place, and then the refugees come to our country because we are financing the war. So I believe that everyone who is paying taxes for a little bit is is having a responsibility that those wars are taking place. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't give money for the community, because this is how our community works. Yeah, everyone, not with our money, but with our energy, with our effort, the communities could work too. But as long as we've got the money system, it's important that some things are paid for bigger groups of people. But the taxes now, if you pay them, you are a criminal. Yeah, and this is very important to think about. And there are legal ways to get out of it, because it's not even legal what they're doing to us. You should read yourself into it, YouTube it. It's just very, very important to think about those things. You can get out of it, and I forgot the name of the man now, but if you Google tax-free living, you'll find a way. And they're not taking a lot of money. They're helping you to write the letters to the government, and they are giving the examples, and they've helped many people, so you can stop paying that and then decide where you want to give your money to. If you want to sponsor some maybe companies, or not companies, some people that you really trust to help some projects in countries where people aren't feeling so well, or if you want to give that money that you save to the local, I don't know, you can decide, whatever, something where you know that the money goes there is way more important than just giving it away and let some other criminals decide about it. So very important. And something that I really want to encourage you to is to go out and demonstrate. This is because since 1 year, more than 1 year, I'm demonstrating with the yellow vest now, and no one's talking about it. But you all probably don't know what's going on in France, and there's still hundreds of thousands of people every weekend. There's just this huge blackout, and people are going out there, and there's this huge energy, and we should do that anywhere, because if we would all stick together, then they couldn't fight us. They're just a couple of people who are controlling everything. If we would all start to stand up, then maybe police officers, doctors, all those people who are really involved, they would also start to think, hey, am I doing the right thing, and which side do I want to be on? Do I want to be on the side of those couple of people, or do I want to be on the side of those millions of people? So every now and then, striking, demonstrating, this is something that's really important to me, but it's not that necessary. If you do the things that I've been talking about before, you're actually already doing enough. But I mean, there are some people like me who always like to do more and more and more. Okay, so you can still ask your questions, or give me your views or opinions on what I've been talking about so far, and maybe some feedback about the workshop, because next month I'm going to do the workshop in German. And it's always good to know what you can do in a different way. So I have to stop now quickly, but we still have to do the lottery. Woo! So, a free sitting, free coaching, free concert, or free speech. Someone's going to win. And the first person is Neil. Neil. Congratulations, Neil. The second person, exciting. The second person is Alex. And the third person is Marian. Marian. So, because at the moment no one is actually watching live because I'm with this other account. So I don't know if you're gonna see this. I'm going to write you a personal message, and then I'm going to let you know how exactly of what you can choose and how it's actually all going to take place. So congratulations and talk to you soon. And for the rest, thank you for joining this workshop. It's been really nice to do, and please keep watching my other videos. 8 o'clock today I'm gonna go online and sing a song for you, like every week, every Thursday 8 o'clock, and every Wednesday I've got my video diary, 8 o'clock in English, 8:30 in German, and 9 o'clock in Dutch. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.